Thanos is known as the big bad of Marvel, being the villain of the Infinity Saga in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and a reappearing villain for roughly 5 decades in the comics. He made his first live-action debut in the Avengers movie post-credit scene with a quick shot of him smiling. This was then followed by a brief appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, as well as Age of Ultron's post-credit scene where he reveals he'll go after the Infinity Stones himself, seeing as Ronan and Loki failed him before. He's also the main villain in both Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, where his true potential shone through. So the question is, what was Thanos truly capable of? How powerful is he compared to Iron Man or Captain America? Or how would he last against the Scarlet Witch herself? Well, today we'll be talking about it and scaling the Mad Titan, discussing his feats in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As we know, during Avengers Infinity War, Thanos has a goal to get all 6 Infinity Stones, gaining more and more power as the movie goes on. So to start off, we're going to talk about how powerful he was without the Infinity Gauntlet and just his brute strength. And just a side note, I won't be including feats from Star Wars What If. I know he did a few things in that with T'Challa, Star-Lord, etc. But I'm not going to be including that because we're just talking about the main timeline. So his striking strength is extremely powerful, being able to kick Thor across the ship deck easily. He also managed to knock out Captain America with a single punch to the head, making him unable to get up until Thanos has already passed him. Also, he beats the crap out of Hulk at the start of Infinity War, slamming him onto the ground. In Endgame, he hits Iron Man to the ground, backhands Captain America with the sword, sending him flying into debris, before kicking Thor into a rock and breaking it. He actually does this to Captain America twice more after this, once with a sword sending him through an old broken tree, and a second time he punches him through a rock with his bare fist. His lifting strength is also incredible. He can lift Loki up by his throat with one hand, as well as lifting Hulk over his head easily. For a reference, the Hulk is believed to be about 1,040 to 1,400 pounds, which is roughly 470 to 640 kilograms. Now moving on to his durability, he can take series of hits from Spider-Man while still being able to grab him as he swings by. He also gets up after Nebula goes kamikaze and crashes a spaceship into him, appearing unharmed and ready to fight her off. At the start of Infinity War, he also takes hits from Hulk, and we can all guess how hard that would be. One of my personal favourites and most impressive feats is that he withstands lightning from Thor, as well as getting stabbed by the axe from a distance. It's then pushed deeper by Thor, and he still has the strength to speak, snap his fingers and teleport away. In Endgame, he takes punches from Captain Marvel easily, as well as being able to withstand hits from Mjolnir. He's able to withstand Iron Man's repulsor beams, as well as Mjolnir's lightning. However, his durability is limited, like everyone's is, seeing as Wanda did make him cry out for help. Now moving on to his speed, Thanos is fairly fast for his size, seeming as he can dodge, block and parry blows from the Hulk, whilst making it look effortless. He's also fast enough to see Loki about to stab him, and he stops him using the Space Stone, which shows how fast his reflexes are. In Endgame, he can also spin his blade extremely fast to block multiple beams from Iron Man at once, which would be extremely fast to block all of them. Now moving on to the infamous Infinity Gauntlet, it obviously gives Thanos an insane amount of power. If you're a new fan and you don't know the Infinity Stones, there are 6 of them: time, space, reality, soul, power and mind, each controlling their respective aspects of the universe. When brought together and used all at once, the user can cause an event that requires an insane amount of power. This is seen in both Infinity War, where Thanos wipes out 50% of the universe at random, and then twice in Endgame, where Hulk brings the 50% back, and Tony wipes out Thanos and his army for good. Now obviously for Thanos, snapping is probably one of his most powerful feats, but he has many other feats for the individual stones. So to start off, the Space Stone gives the ability to control space itself, mainly used to travel throughout space, hence the name. However, Thanos used it to hold Loki's arm as he tried to stab him at the very start of Infinity War. Also, he makes Hulkbuster face through him and go into a cliff face, before having it rematerialise, literally setting its fate in stone. He also makes Rhodey's projectiles disappear before using the stone to constrict him and send him flying. Then a little bit later, he uses the stone to shield himself from Wanda's blast as he pushes against it. Moving on to the Reality Stone, you guessed it, it gives the user control over reality. Shocker. On Titan, Thanos creates a huge illusion to have a badass monologue describing what happened there to Doctor Strange. He's also able to trick the Guardians on Nowhere before making a fake version of him for Gamora to kill before turning Star-Lord's bullets into bubbles. He also makes Drax crumble into pieces, and he causes Mantis to turn into ribbons. This is then reverted either by Thanos himself or because he left the area. The Power Stone, well, I don't think I really need to explain what it does. With this, Thanos threatens to kill Thor by just holding the stone to his temple. He also sends many people flying with it, but my personal favourite feat with this stone is when he takes it out the gauntlet and punches Captain Marvel with it. The reason this is my favourite is because in Guardians of the Galaxy, all the Guardians are required to withstand holding the stone, with Star-Lord being a half Celestial, and here we see Thanos do it with no trouble at all. The Time Stone isn't used very often, seeing as it's one of the last stones that he collects. He used this to rewind the destruction of the Mind Stone after Wanda exploded it so that he can kill Vision again to get the final stone. This is also kind of a strength feat that I didn't actually mention earlier, but he can break vibranium with his hands because he just kind of pinched Vision's head a little bit and it came out easily. Now, obviously, the Soul Stone isn't used for powers, and the Mind Stone unfortunately isn't used in the movie because the first thing he does with it is snap and then destroys it. Now, if Thanos did happen to use the Mind Stone, I personally think it would have been cool if he used it to make one of the Avengers temporarily fight the others like Loki did to Hawkeye or something, but unfortunately we didn't get to see that. But at the same time, that does make sense because it was the last stone that he got, so he didn't really need to use it. So overall, Thanos is obviously an extremely powerful being, but where does he rank on our list? On Titan, he went head to head against Iron Man, eventually winning by stabbing him with his own blade. So he'd have to be above Iron Man, but at the same time we put Iron Man on the same level as Endgame Wanda. So that wouldn't make sense because Wanda smacked Thanos up easily. And for that reason, I'm going to put Thanos in between Endgame Wanda and Iron Man on the same level, even though Wanda is actually above him. But then Wanda's at the same level as Iron Man, so we're kind of stuck at this point. But yeah, he's basically just in between Wanda and Iron Man because he won against Iron Man, but Wanda was the only character that was able to make him scream out in pain. So that's it for this power scaling video. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Also, I'm thinking of rebranding my channel. I know I'm called Mr. Magneto, but if you've watched other videos on my channel, I also do Star Wars videos. So if you do have any ideas for new names that incorporate Magneto and Star Wars, obviously I want to keep Magneto because he's a badass character. But if you have any ideas to mix Magneto with Star Wars, please leave them in the comments below. I'd appreciate that a lot. And I'll see you soon with another video.